I actually have quite a big haul, a good haul for you guys today. And then after I get through the haul, I am going to just update you as to what's been going on in our lives here at the curated home. So the first thing isn't necessarily something that I bought. It's actually something that came out of my childhood home. We'll get into the details of that at the end of this video, but I have been cleaning that out and I brought a few items home. So I'm going to start with that. Look at these beautiful, beautiful pieces. Now I have had to make notes on everything because I cannot remember everything offhand. Nonetheless, you know, I'm at that age, we have to make notes. So these are actually National Pattern. I think they call this, it could be pronounced Jeanette or Jeanette glass company that made these. And this is actually considered a hobnail pattern, believe it or not. When I think of hobnail pattern, I think of the milk glass hobnail pattern, the little teeny polka dots all over the milk glass, but this is actually considered a hobnail design as well. Go figure. Maybe because it has that similar hobnail at the bottom, not necessarily the ribbing here. But anyway, so these were made in the 1940s. It's a sugar and a creamer set, and they go for $20 to $50, depending on whether they're eBay, Etsy, or a vintage or antique dealer. Depending on who's selling it, it can go from anywhere between the $20 and $50 range. But these are from my mom. From a very long time ago, so they're definitely vintage. And I happened to find, as I was digging through the kitchen cabinets, just a random lid. And I remember the dish that it went on, the sugar dish. I don't know what happened to the sugar dish, but it just so happens that it actually fits somewhat on here. So I don't know if I'll stage it with that or not, but picking up lids, even in a thrift store, I will definitely pick them up because they come in handy and it's a nice little decorative element to add to a vignette. So don't pass on the lids just because it's missing its partner, you know, it's still a good find. So this, some of you may be very familiar with these, especially if you're of my generation. This was part of an actual like crock pot looking set. It was a pottery cookware. And my mom used to make pudding. You know, she would cook the pudding on the stove. That's back when pudding wasn't instant. And she would cook the pudding on the stove and then serve it up in these for dessert. And we used to have a set of, I think 6, my mom did, but they came in a set of 4. But I don't know what happened to the rest of them. I just have this one. And it's so nostalgic to me. So I definitely brought it home. And I think what I'm going to do is put a plant in it and use it as a planter because it's definitely not something that I would eat out of anymore with the chip and everything on it, but very nostalgic to me. So this also came from my childhood home and I'm excited to have it. So a fun little fact, ironstone is not just white. Ironstone is not just pictures or plates. You know, ironstone takes many forms, it takes many colors, it takes many patterns, and this plate is a perfect example of that. This is a little teeny ironstone plate that I picked up for 50 cents at the Salvation Army. It is marked with ironstone. I think this one was probably made in around 1970s, so it is vintage, and ironstone of course comes from England. But is this not beautiful? I just love the pattern, and I've always been drawn to blue and white color palette, especially for spring and summer, but I may keep it up all year round. I don't know. I love to switch things out. So I love having a variety of things. But this will definitely add to my collection of blue and white dinnerware, plateware, whatever you want to call it. And then the other plate that I picked up at the Salvation Army is actually a Homer Laughlin gardenia pattern platter from the 1900s. I couldn't get an exact date on it. And the price, let me show you. This is the pattern. And I got it for, it was $3 at the Salvation Army. It does have the marking on the back. It has this beautiful little detail right here. And I just love this. So they started this pattern in the 1900s, early 1900s. I cannot verify exactly what date this was replicated or made. Not replicated, made. But it is vintage, definitely vintage. And what else can I tell you about this? I just love the color palette. This is beautiful for spring, isn't it? I just love it. And it goes so well with that blue and white. I'm just loving that. So for $3, really good find. Oh, the price of it. These are also going anywhere from 20 and up. I would say between 20 and 50 is generally what I'm seeing them at, given who is selling them. So love this find. So you know that I've started collecting the flower frogs, if you haven't known already, and I'm new to that game as well. But I found this mid-century vintage flower frog that is just, it's called a caged flower frog because of the way that it's made here. It does have a good bit of weight to it. I just love these flower frogs. You can use them. You can use them for just about anything, really. I just love having them out and about sitting. When you know what a flower frog is, when you know, you know. So I love having them sitting about. Another find from the Salvation Army were a set of 3 melamine rice bowls or snack bowls. Again, I can't really find a whole lot of information on these particularly, but ones that are similar to this are definitely considered vintage, especially from the markings on the bottom. But they are going from anywhere from $30 to $50 for a full set of them. And why I picked them up was because they remind me of that color of jadeite. And I have not picked up any jadeite. I own none. And I want some, but it's very expensive. So as I build my collection, I will try to find vintage finds that are kind of in that color palette and kind of roll with it. These were marked at $2, but they were 50% off the day that I picked them up. So they were $1 for the 3. So I'm excited to clean these up and use them in my spring decorating and summer decorating, and maybe even Christmas. I have an idea for Christmas already, I know, that involves this color. So, and hopefully I'll have some jadeite pieces by then. I'm always picking these items up whenever I can find them because they're perfect for putting your soap dispensers, like your dish soap and Miss Meyer's and all of that in by a sink. I have them to house my oils, like any essential oils, because you know how when you use an essential oil, sometimes you get the oily residue on wherever it's sitting afterwards or whatever. This is a perfect thing to kind of house those types of items. It's easily to wash and clean. This I picked up for $1, and I will continue to pick these up. These are wonderful little catch-alls for all those everyday areas that we use. So definitely a good find. I forgot to mention a fun fact. Those melamine bowls that I just showed you, melamine originated in Germany in the 1830s. Yeah, 1830s. That was a really long time ago. Definitely gonna have to look at my notes on this one. This find, if it focuses, isn't that beautiful? It's a nice little cloche. This was actually this is a vintage Avon from the 1970s Fostoria butter dish. That's what it was sold as originally. It was sold as a butter dish. I don't know that I would put butter in it, but I just love it. I love cloches, and this one's very unique. I would have never, when I saw it, I never would have thought that it was Avon Fostoria, but that's what it is. So another Avon piece that I came across was this. It is a Westmoreland Avon from the 1960s candy egg-shaped dish. Is that not, it has a nice little detail on it. It needs to be cleaned up a little bit. I can't remember, I think it was $6 that I paid for this, but another little cute find to add to my milk glass collection. So the next few items are also milk glass, and the date ranges on those are from 1910 all the way through 1960. So I picked up 2 sets of sugar creamer sets, and some of them are the Westmoreland hobnail, some are bramble, uranium glass, I didn't know uranium and milk glass go together, but apparently they do. Anyway, this is one of those items. This was a Westmoreland hobnail. This one is the one that was from 1910, believe it or not. That is really cool, right? So these are a maple leaf Westmoreland uranium milk glass. I still can't get used to saying uranium milk glass, and correct me if any of you are more knowledgeable about milk glass. Correct me if I'm wrong, but when I was looking these up, they definitely are the maple leaf. They definitely are the Westmoreland. They have the W clearly marked on the bottom. So around, what year was it? In the 1940s, I think in 1946, they started putting a W for that Westmoreland milk glass on the bottom. It's a big W on the bottom. And these definitely have that, so they're clearly that. But in some of my research, it listed them as uranium milk glass. So correct me if I'm wrong. I've never heard of such a thing, but that's what these are listed at. These are I picked them up for $4.50 a piece. So $9 is what I got the set for. And they are also going from, I think the least amount that they were going for on eBay was around $30 all the way up to $50, $60. And that I search eBay. I also search Etsy and some auction sites, that kind of thing. So that's kind of the price range they were going for. And then the other set is a hobnail set. And here they are. There's the sugar and the creamer. And they're going for about the same price range. I paid $4 a piece for each of these. So I love them. I think they're beautiful. I think what I'm going to do is use a few of these as planters to put some plants in. I'm super excited about that. So one of my best finds, in my opinion, is the very rare vintage metal tin set. I'm looking at my notes. Metal tin set from the 1950s. It originally was a set of 5, but I could only find 4. So let me show you. I'm so excited about these. These are super cool. Hold on. And here they are. There's coffee, flour, and then there's one for tea and sugar. They all look the same. But I love these. I am absolutely in love with these. And the reason that they're rare is because a lot of these things were discarded. A lot of these vintage kitchen items and things like that were literally just thrown away. So that's what makes them so rare to find them, because people really didn't know what they would have been worth if they held on to them. None of us do. I think I've thrown a lot of things away from the 80s that I know would definitely be something that people would want to get their hands on today and be worth a lot. But back then you don't know that, you just toss it. And so that's what kind of makes them very rare, because a lot of this type of item got thrown away. So my plan with vintage tins is I have a ton of Christmas vintage tins. So I don't need to buy any more. I probably will buy more, but I don't need to buy any more for a good collection of those. But I want to buy some everyday vintage kitchen tins because I want to redo the tops of my kitchen cabinets. On the one side that I have above the coffee bar area now, I want to take all of that down, and then I'm going to move over my antique collection of tea kettles that I have, and I'll put that over on that side and keep collecting tea kettles. And then the one section that I have above my cabinets that has my vintage kitchen utensils like sifters and graters and things like that, I'm leaving that as is. But the one above my stove, I want to put the vintage tins and switch them out for the seasons. So I'm excited to start that collection, and this is the first of my everyday tins that I'm going to be putting up there. I'm always looking for doilies. I love them. I like the unique ones, things that, you know, you can tell have been around a while, definitely vintage ones. They took the price off of these, but they were $1 a piece. And they're smalls. So look at how beautiful that is. I love that little pattern there. And then this one looks very delicate. Look at how delicate that looks. I love it. So I've got several teacups, and I'm going to continue to collect the teacups until I have at least 12 blue and white teacups. And they are pretty much from everywhere. I have two that are similar. And this says that this is Valerie and Bach C's Basin Blue Willow Cup in Germany. So these were made in Germany, these two particular ones. And I got them for $4 each. And then I picked up, what's this one? Oh, this one I'm saving for last. It's the best one. This is another one that's similar to, actually I got three that are the same. This is another one that was made in Germany. I'm sorry, this is really blurry. It's not focusing very well. This one is a Japanese willow cup, and it's the temple, and it was only $2.50, and it was made in Japan. So it has the marking of Japan on the bottom, if you can see it. And this is what it looks like. This cup is going for, oddly enough, this particular pattern is going for over $100 on eBay. So go figure. And I did pick up this beautiful Lexus collection made in England. I don't know if this one's ironstone or not, but it's the saucer to one of the cups. Paid $1 for it. They only had one, so I picked that up. But the next two cups, both are made in Japan, and both are antiques. This one's dirty. They're both antiques, and look at the crazing that's in them. Is that not beautiful? This one says made in Japan on the bottom. And this one is a buffalo pottery piece that it was made in, it's an American piece, and it was an antique. It was made in 1911. It has the date on the bottom, and it's clearly marked, and it's gorgeous. So this is an official antique, and I'm loving it. So great finds for my blue and white. And then the last piece I'm going to share with you is, this also came out of my childhood home, and it is a plate. And this is an ironstone plate as well. This is an antique moss rose ironstone, and it was made in the 1800s by Hancock and Cook. This has definitely a lot of crazing in it. It has a crack right here. It has the gold leafing. It's beautiful. I love it. I do. I just love it. So those are all of my, that's all of my haul. And now we're going to get into some life updates. So work, it has been crazy. I do work full-time outside the home, for those of you that maybe know. And work has been definitely crazy, but I knew going into this year that it would be for various reasons. We are growing our company and it's thriving and, you know, growing like all companies should and hopefully do. So that's just, you know, this year is just taking us on a whole new trajectory, and we're continuing the good work of providing employment to people that otherwise would not be employed. We work with a community of adults with disabilities, and I am very used to employment, so I'm very proud of the work that we do. I'm very proud of the work that I do in helping with all of that. So that's been busy, and my hours are very long, but that is okay. But the other thing is, just as far as life goes, our children are all definitely, right, you know, there's a lot of challenges that this year is bringing already, and we're barely into 2024, and it's already a very challenging year. Not necessarily in a bad way. It's all good things, but life does happen. So like I was saying, our children each have their own milestones that they are working at. We have our daughter who is continuing her career path and looking to grow that and further that, and is looking for ways to continue to grow, which poses a challenge and changes schedules and things of that nature. So our oldest son is also working on his career, and it is starting to take traction, and he's looking at a relocation possibly in another year. So he is planning that out appropriately. And then our youngest has decided, which brings me to the reason why I am even more scatterbrained than usual. Our youngest has decided to purchase our family home, the home that he grew up in, and the home that I grew up in, and the home that everybody calls home in my family. He wants to buy it because, you know, it's a lot of upkeep. It's a lot for all of us, you know, my brothers and I, to kind of keep up with. So we had all started to come to, you know, that place where we were ready to kind of maybe let that property go. And I've mentioned this a few times on my channel, so it's not a surprise to anyone. But we have all talked about it, and my youngest does not want to let it go, and my boys do live in the house. So of course that decision would have affected them. But my youngest is wanting to purchase it. But before he can purchase it, we weren't going to do anything to the house. We weren't going to upgrade anything. We weren't going to invest any time or money into it, because we really had thought that, you know, with the one son looking at relocating, that the other son would either come stay with Art and I, or, you know, relocate somewhere else, or stay in the area and just rent a small apartment or something. But he definitely wants to buy it, and it's something that he had thought about long before we got to the point where we are. But now it's like, what do you know, the rubber meets the road kind of time. You know, it's like, okay, we're actually doing this. So we're all rallying around him. It will be his very first home purchase. And like I said, before we do that, we really need to do a lot of work on it and get it up to par before we can even think about officially having him make a purchase of it. And it's not like we can just sign over a title or anything. There is a small mortgage still owed on the house. It's not a big one. It is a small one. I don't know how other families work, but for us, whenever one of our family members was in trouble or needed help, the house got mortgaged to help them out. And that's kind of, so there's always been a small mortgage on the house. It's never been a free and clear kind of thing. So anyway, like I said, we have a lot of work to do to get that done. Between work, between kids, between family and all of that, I don't necessarily always have the time to watch YouTube. I don't always have the time to comment on my videos. I don't always have the time to comment back. But I do. I find the time. If you take the time to leave me a comment, I take the time to comment back. It's just not always right away. And I feel so bad about that. I really do. I feel so bad about that. But I always will comment back, even if it is just a smiley face or a heart or a thank you or something. I definitely want to take the time to acknowledge those of you that take the time to actually leave a comment. So I just wanted to make sure that you guys knew that if I'm quiet or it feels a little like I'm a little distant or whatever, I'm not going anywhere. I'm just extremely busy. Life happens. And I think everybody can relate to that. And to my wonderful, wonderful YouTube creator sisters and friends, I am so sorry that I have not been able to comment or watch every single video. I really do try, but I think moving forward, it's going to get even worse because I'm just not having the time. Every spare minute that I am not at work or I am not doing the everyday stuff that I would normally do for family, and Art and I is going to be working on the house. So I'm not going to have as much time to sit and watch a video. And lately when I sit down and try to watch one, I fall asleep. So I'm not even able to get through a video, it seems like. But I do watch. So if, I just want to put this out there. If I watch and typically what happens is I'll sit down, I'll start watching a video. And if I make it all the way through, my phone's not anywhere near me to comment, and you can't comment from the TV. And I like to watch your videos on the TV. Then I'm achy and sore and I don't feel like getting up to go find my phone. And by the time I do find my phone, I've forgotten what the video was about and all the details of it. I just know that you've posted one and I've watched it, but I can't remember the details of it. And I like to be able to comment and leave details about your video so it really shows that I did pay attention. It's not going to happen, guys. It's not going to happen. I'm so sorry, but I am watching. I do support you. I want to make sure that I'm doing, my part as your friend to watch and give you those watch hours and to just acknowledge that I've watched. I'm trying. I promise you I'm trying. So if all I do, and, if we can agree, if you guys will accept and give me some grace, if I watch your videos, I will make sure that I do like it, because I can do that from the TV. You can like that from the TV for using your remote. And then when I get around to it, I will, just put, hey, I watched, or love you, or something general like that, because I can't guarantee that I'm actually going to remember all the details. And I'm just being very open and honest. I cherish you guys. I cherish each and every one of you. I love the relationship and the community that we've built, and I want to continue to be a part of that, and but also giving myself grace, knowing that I can't keep up all the time. So if you guys can give me a little bit of that too, I would so appreciate it. I will try to continue to make sure that I post every single Sunday. If you guys want to see transformation pictures or updates on how the house is going, even though I'm kind of ashamed to show you because of the condition that the house is in, I'm okay with showing it, because everybody has these moments. Everybody has these things. I'm not the only one that is, has a piece of property that has been let go. I'm not the only one. So I don't mind sharing it, because I roll up my sleeves. I'm not afraid to get dirty. I'm not afraid of hard work, and I dive right on in, and I find joy in doing it. And I'm excited about this. And it's so wonderful to see Andrew's face light up every time there's a change for the better of the house, and that there's an improvement that's been done. His face lights up, and I can tell that I'm giving my son a future that he is choosing, and it's such a blessing to be able to do this. So I'm happy to share that with you guys, even though I'm a little embarrassed about it. Please do not judge the before and afters. You can judge the afters, and in regards to the afters, we're not going to invest a lot of money cosmetically right now because there's so much that needs to be done from a safety standpoint. Also, my son wants to keep the house in its original state architecturally. He doesn't want to change anything major of the layout. He doesn't want to take any or make any modifications to the cabinets that my dad built, except I did talk him into some bigger changes. The kitchen's divided into two parts, so I did talk him into some major changes on the one side. So that we're almost complete on. I'm excited about that. Right now, it still doesn't look like much. It doesn't. It's still looking kind of rough, but there is progress. There's definite progress. But if you guys would like to be a part of that, or you want to see any of that, let me know in the comments. I'm happy to share that with you guys. And we're doing it on little to no budget at all. We are using what we already have on hand. My daughter Stephanie knew that we needed a new washer. She had one in storage, so she gifted that to her brother. We had a refrigerator that was on a job site that's in perfect working condition and fairly new. Theirs in the house was broken to the point where it was just it was pretty useless. So we were able to swap it out. That didn't cost us anything. They actually had that one from the job site in their dining room that was in there. So they were already using it. We just relocated it and took the old one out. The stove needs to be replaced. We may have to look at purchasing that. The dryer is in good condition. It doesn't match the washer, but that's okay. We're not going for that type of aesthetic right now. We're really just trying to get the house in a condition where it's a healthy living space for both the boys while they're there, and mainly for Andrew when he's there by himself at some point. Hopefully in a few years, married, starting his own family in that house. So small changes, but big, it's a lot. We'll just leave it at that. It's a lot. So every weekend, rather than this haul that I did has been stopping as I'm traveling up and down the road. Mind you, my son's in Virginia, the house is in Virginia, and I'm in West Virginia. It's a lot. It's a lot. So give me some grace. And, but yeah, I'm happy to share it. Just let me know in the comments below. And, but that's where I'm at. That's what I'm doing and what I'll be doing at least for the next few months. So anyway, the next video, like I said, I don't know what it'll be unless I'm sharing updates to the house. I don't know if I decorate here anytime soon. I will share that with you. I'm not going to go months and months without videos. I will film something. I just don't know what. I don't know what. I don't know how long it will be. I don't know what it'll be. I don't know if you're going to see me in it. The videos might be just set to music and showing you a vignette that I was able to, work on in between cooking dinner and getting prepped for the next day. I don't know, but I'll definitely bring something. Do you see the school bus? It's time for the kids. They're coming home. Until next Sunday when we do this all again, I love each and every one of you so much. Until then, bye.